Once upon a time, long before the apps, the dashboards, the net worth trackers, progress was simple. If your crops grew, you moved forward. If your trade expanded, you advanced. If your village prospered, you felt it. There was no illusion. But today, you can earn more than ever. You can save more than ever. You can invest more than ever, and still feel like you're not moving at all. This is the illusion of financial progress. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you're new here, this is Capital Intelligence, where we study the psychology behind money, power, and decision-making. This isn't about hustle motivation. It's about understanding the system, because progress isn't always what it looks like. And sometimes what feels like growth is simply motion without distance. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why income growth doesn't equal wealth, why being busy doesn't equal building, why comfort can mask stagnation, and how to measure real progress the way the system does, not the way social media does. Let's begin. Part 1. Motion versus movement. Imagine you're on a treadmill. You're sweating, your heart rate is up, your legs are moving, but your location hasn't changed. That's most modern financial life. You got a raise, you upgraded apartments, you financed a better car, you increased your lifestyle. Externally, it looks like progress, but internally, your financial position may be exactly the same, or worse, because progress is not about speed, it's about direction. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. Most people measure progress by income. The system measures progress by ownership. Income can increase, expenses can increase faster, ownership compounds, consumption resets. Let that sit. If this already challenges something you believed, pause for a second. That tension you feel, that's the beginning of clarity. Part 2, the pay raise trap. Let's talk about the raise. You earned $35,000. You moved to $45,000. You feel successful. But what actually changed? You upgraded your apartment. You eat out more. You finance a better phone. You travel more often. Your lifestyle expanded to meet your income. That expansion feels like growth. But it's consumption growth, not asset growth. Here's the psychological mechanism. The brain anchors to relative improvement, not structural change. If last year was harder, this year feels like progress. But the system doesn't reward feelings. It rewards leverage. If your income depends entirely on your time, you're still trading hours, even at a higher rate. That's not criticism. That's structure. And the system is built on structure. Part 3. The busy illusion. Now let's talk about productivity. You wake up early, you work long hours. You feel exhausted. Exhaustion feels like advancement. But effort is not equity. You can be highly skilled, highly disciplined, highly educated, and still not accumulating leverage. Why? Because effort without ownership scales linearly. Ownership scales exponentially. This is why two people can work equally hard, but one quietly builds assets while the other only builds experience. Experience is valuable, but assets create autonomy. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Some of the most stable financial paths are the most deceptive. Let me explain. Part 4. The stability paradox. Stability feels safe. A stable job, a stable income. A stable routine. But stability without growth mechanisms is controlled decline. Inflation rises. Costs rise, expectations rise. If your income rises slower than asset prices, you are technically falling behind. Even if your salary increases. This is the illusion. Progress measured in numbers. Decline measured in purchasing power. And because the change is gradual, you don't feel it immediately. That's what makes it powerful. It's not dramatic, it's quiet. And quiet decline is the hardest to detect. Part 5. Social comparison distortion. You scroll. You see vacations, new homes. Business launches, investment wins. You compare. But comparison hides leverage. You see lifestyle, you don't see structure. You see outcomes, you don't see foundations. Someone earning less than you might be building assets faster than you. Because progress isn't about visible upgrades. It's about invisible accumulation. The system rewards what compounds quietly, not what impresses loudly. Comment below, what did you once think was progress, that you now realize was only motion? I read every insight carefully. Part 6, how real progress is measured. Let's redefine it. Real financial progress is increasing assets that produce income, decreasing dependency on your time, expanding optionality, strengthening resilience. Ask yourself, if your job disappeared tomorrow, how long could your structure sustain you? That's progress. If your investments grow while you sleep, that's progress. If your lifestyle costs stay controlled while your assets grow, that's progress. Progress is not louder spending, it's quieter strength, and strength is rarely visible at first. That's why most people miss it, because they're trained to watch speed, not trajectory. Part 7, the reframe. The illusion of financial progress only controls you when you measure incorrectly. Shift the metric. Instead of asking, am I earning more? Ask, am I owning more? Instead of, am I busier? Ask, am I building leverage? Instead of, do I look successful? Ask, am I structurally independent? The moment you change the question, you change the direction. And direction determines destiny. Once upon a time, progress was visible. Today, it's disguised, but now you see it. And awareness changes behavior. This isn't about panic, it's about precision. The system rewards owners, it compensates workers. Decide which side you are building toward. If this gave you clarity, not motivation, but clarity, subscribe. Because here, we don't chase noise. We study structure. This is capital intelligence. And now, you measure differently.